Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only Nightshade and Seismic Toss was a really weird run, as I'm sure you could guess. Let's follow that up with another super weird but highly requested one. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of only one Regigigas? Okay, so I want to say right off the bat, this has gotta be a really easy challenge, right? But I've had this requested to me like 100 times over the last 3 years now. It's a lot. This is why this ability called Slow Start. We start off with half of our speed and attack, but it goes back to normal after 5 turns have passed. Don't get me wrong, that's a really awful ability in a lot of ways, but I mean, look at the stats on Regigigas. I've had so many people tell me that this would be hard, but we have a base attack of 160 and a speed of 100. So at the start of the fight, that's the same as a base speed of 50 and a base attack of 80. Well, 50 speed and 80 attack are still way better than I have in most of my challenges. Plus we have great health, defense, special defense, and even pretty good special attack. I mean, we're a legendary Pokemon, of course our stats are gonna be solid. Plus, check out our level up moves. Now, I don't know exactly what we're going to even start with, since a lot of these are listed at level 1, so it might just give us the bottom 4 level 1 moves. But even if it does that, we could go to the move reminder to learn those elemental punches. I do hope I start with the elemental punches, because that kind of type coverage is awesome, but I think it's more likely that we're going to get the bottom 3. Not sure if that works the same way in each Pokemon game. Either way, some level up moves here are pretty good. Then look at the TM move list. It's super long, and honestly, the only reason I'm not really interested in a lot of it is because our level up moves are already so strong. Like, do I really need Thunderbolt when I could get the slightly weaker Thunder Punch and use our higher attack stat instead? I guess it'll take 5 turns for our attack to be higher than our special attack, but we might still be able to work with that. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so if this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I have no doubt whatsoever that we're gonna win. This is probably going to be up there with my Pokemon Red Ghastly or Pokemon Red Porygon runs as the fastest challenges I've ever done. I just want to have fun seeing how comedically easy some of these fights are. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Regigigas. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Turtwig with Regigigas so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Turtwig so that our rival would have Infernape, probably the hardest for us to fight. I name him Gigas, of course I had to. Our nature is naughty, so less special defense and more attack. I'm perfectly fine with that. I didn't even check our IVs, it shouldn't matter, we're a legendary. Looks like we don't start with the elemental punches, and Dizzy Punch doesn't have many power points. I guess that's okay, we have Foresight so I can hit ghosts with our normal moves, and we get Return right away in this game anyway. Once we get to High Friendship, Return with the same type attack bonus and attack nature should be absolutely vaporizing the competition. I'm talking like one-shotting rock types level brute force. I'm actually quite pumped to see what the Steel Gym fight looks like. So, early game travel. This is all pretty easy this early, because even with Slow Start, we still have great stats. We probably don't do that much more damage than they do, but just having a lot more max health in the early game is a pretty big deal. Dizzy Punch may not have that many power points, but it hits pretty hard for this early in the game. Let's go do the first rival fight. Yeah, that was super easy. They just kept doing stuff like lowering our defense. Maybe the AI thought it wouldn't do enough damage without it. Okay, so dumb problem. I replaced Dizzy Punch with Return way too early, and now we're doing almost no damage. It was a really dumb mistake. I'll have to grind at least a bit to get enough friendship to beat the gym. Even after 5 turns, we're doing more damage with Knockoff than Return with the same type attack bonus. I really should have saved before using that TM. No one wants to see me lose a bunch to the Rock Gym right at the start, right? That's like the start of 99% of these runs. Game Freak loves the Rock Gym being the first gym. Let's skip ahead and show you the attempts where we stood a chance. Rock Gym, all the way at level 17. Yeah, anything lower than this and we get wrecked. Geodude is first, and I've learned from my tons of failed tries that Confuse Ray is really important. We're trying to take the least amount of hits that we can, and I'm sure you can see why. He doesn't do much, but we don't do much either, so he gets a lot of hits in on us before he faints. Next is Onix, and it's much weaker than Geodude, but the same strategy applies. We still have low health, and he does hit us. Plus, he takes tons of hits to take down and uses potions. We had just dropped to red health as he fainted. Last was Cranidos, and I'm writing here that I always say this wrong so that future MDB will make sure to double check if he said it right. Well, I did say it wrong the first time. Straight up, we'd have easily lost if not for how we crit to nearly one-shot him. I hope that didn't look easy, because it wasn't. I was grinding and trying this gym for a solid hour and a half, and that was with fast forward. I really did need some awesome luck to get through that. With that done, we're on the road again. I feel like we've already gotten past the early game struggles of not being much stronger than wild Pokemon, and we're already at the point where we can sweep a lot of trainers even while Slow Start is still active. That has me feeling really good about how much damage I'll be doing after that 5-turn point. Next is Commander Mars. Let's hope that goes well. Weirdly enough, the Commander Mars fight took like 4 tries. It's not that it's a hard fight, it's that Zubat usually opens by using Toxic. It's so weird to have to deal with Toxic this early in the game. This is before it had 100 accuracy for poison types, so I just had to try until it missed. Once it missed, we had a really easy time. Next up is the Forest, where you get full heals after each fight, but we're at a point where we usually one-shot whatever we run into after Slow Start wears off. I actually avoid fights just for the sake of staying at a lower level for the Grass Gym at this point. Speaking of, first up in the Grass Gym is Turtwig, who likes to use Reflect, so we didn't do a ton of damage. Between that and Confuse Ray though, we had this really great run where he hardly hurt us and we were able to get rid of Slow Start before taking him down. That's really important. Cherim is next, and he does pretty good damage with Grass Knot before going down, and last is Roserade. We did great damage but then got paralyzed. It's a good thing we didn't get fully paralyzed, because Roserade's Grass Knot took us to red health before we finished the fight. That was really close. It took a few tries to win that fight. Next up is the Galactic Hideout, where we have to fight Jupiter, but I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is one of those runs where the commanders are all super easy. I find that usually on these runs, either most of the commander fights are hard or they're all super easy. Yeah, we had some troubles with the first one, but that was just because of Toxic. I'm sure the other commander fight will be fine. Well, we're on our way through though. This is a great time to talk about this week's sponsor, Chimera. The big Chimera summer sale is almost over. Right now there's this big 30% off sale site-wide. That'll be ending about a week from when this airs, so now's a great time to go pick something up. Maybe you live somewhere where it's a warm summer and you're dying to have some nice t-shirts. Chimera's got both great quality graphic tees and plain tees for that. In fact, my brown Chimera plain tee is the most comfortable shirt that I own. Maybe where you are, it's getting a little bit colder a little bit earlier and you're more in the market for a sweatshirt or a jacket, and Chimera's got you covered there too. I'm personally a big fan of the puffer jacket. It's not bulky at all, but it keeps you really well insulated, which I've never had in a jacket before this. Or maybe you're from southern Ontario like me, where it was summer last week, then it was monsoon season for 3 days before going back to standard weather. Gross. I don't know what clothing can prepare you for Ontario. Maybe a scarf? Have I ever brought up that Chimera sells scarves? Yeah, check it out, they look super nice too. I don't think I could model a scarf like that, though. I don't know if I'm a scarf guy. Maybe you're a scarf guy. So if you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, then hit up the link in the description to go to Chimera and pick up something breezy and nice to wear this summer. You can use the promo code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout to let them know that I sent you. What's next again? Jupiter? Oh, we're gonna vaporize her. Yeah, Jupiter at the end was a total squash, just as I expected. She didn't stand a chance. Okay, so next up we have the Ghost Gym. Part of me is kind of worried because Foresight gives them more chances to attack us, and we could just get burned on the first turn and lose way too much attack. Then again, we do have Knockoff, and for as weak as it is, it's Dark type. We don't have to use Foresight and Return on all of them if Knockoff would have given us a 2-shot anyway. I think if Will-O-Wisp doesn't hit, we should win easily. I figure as soon as the 5 turns are over, Foresight and Return is the obvious way to go. So I tried this fight a few times and yeah, the burn always takes us down. I actually think this would be an easy fight if we didn't get burned every time, but our best chance is to use Confuse Ray and just hope he never hits us with Will-O-Wisp. I'm gonna try about 10 more times, but failing that, I'll just grind. Okay, you need to check out this attempt. So right away, she was wasting time with stuff like Future Sight that failed, and hitting herself in confusion. It took crazy luck, but even with her heals, she never landed a move on us. Second is Haunter, so right away I started with Foresight just to end up getting confused, hitting ourselves, then we got put to sleep. Really bad follow-up from that good start. We got hit with Sucker Punch a few times when we were asleep, but once we woke up, we one-shotted. Last was Miss Magius, and although she crit us right away with Psybeam, her moves weren't doing much to us, so we were able to overpower her with Foresight in return. It took crazy luck on that Dust Skull, but finally we got a win. I didn't have to grind for that. Right after was our rival, and he starts with Staravia, so our attack is down the whole fight from Intimidate. This is a weird fight because I lost the first few times from using Return too early. I have to intentionally not drop him to low health, or he'll use Endeavor to make us drop to the same super low health, and that dooms us on the rest of the fight. On this try though, the one time we dropped him to kind of low health and he could use Endeavor, he wasted his turn with Double Team. We hit him, he went down. Second is Monferno, who brought us to pretty low health with some Mach Punches, but for some reason, he just didn't use it on the last round when he should've. But Weasel was a one-shot now that slow start is over, and last is Roselia, who was nearly a one-shot, but she paralyzed us. She started using Mega Drain, but it didn't do much, so we were able to finish it pretty easily. It wasn't too bad a fight, but it took a lot of trial and error at the start to figure out how to even do the Staravia fight. Okay, while we travel, let's talk moveset. I think mine needs updating pretty badly, and it's about time that we get access to a lot of TMs. Well, first of all, I think I want a good special move to use while we're dealing with slow start. I'm thinking Thunderbolt, but we'll have to wait until after the water gym. I guess we could work the slot machine forever to buy the TM now, but if we wait until after the water gym, then we can just go surf and get it for free. I also want something to deal with the fighting types, since they've become a real problem. We get Zen Headbutt at level 50, but at least until then, I think we want Aerial Ace. I can ride ahead to the beach and grab that before the upcoming gym. I'm not really sure what I want to replace that last move with. I mean, I wanted Rest because that would be great, but there's no actual Rest TM in this game, believe it or not. Maybe Earthquake to deal with the Rock and Steel types? You know what, that's not a bad idea, and I can get Earthquake whenever I want it. I'll go pick that up sometime before we do the Steel Gym. Okay, let's go lose to the fighting gym. We're at the fighting gym. Right away, Meditite usually lowers our speed a bit with Rock Tomb, but she missed each time this attempt. I've learned from failed attempts that I have to take out Meditite slowly so that we can get rid of slow start earlier in the fight. After taking exactly 5 turns to make it faint, I was able to really mess up Machoke and take it out with almost all of our health to spare and only 1 speed drop. I needed that because Lucario is next and I lost so many tries to this thing. Right away, he's faster and loves using Drain Punch, so we can't just 2-shot this guy. We literally only won because the Shell Bell healed us exactly enough to survive the last hit with only 8 health left. It took forever to figure out how to win this fight. But once again, we didn't need to grind for it. Okay, at least the rival fight after was pretty easy. For sure easier than the previous one at least. They hardly even hurt us. I know that the next rival fight is gonna be worse though. Hey, how do you think the water gym is gonna go? I think it's gonna be pretty easy for once, I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah, super easy. Check it out, he hardly hurt us at all, to the point that we were almost out healing him just by holding a Shell Bell. After that brutal fighting gym, I really appreciate a quick and easy one. Okay, with that done, we can surf outside of battle, so I can go get the TM for Thunderbolt if I want, although, I'll be honest, I'm not really that tempted to get it at the moment. Even with slow start, my physical moves are doing super well. Yeah, we have Cyrus fight coming up, and he's got a lot of flying types, but I'm not really that worried. Cyrus is usually easy until the final Cyrus fight. Let's go take him out. Yeah, Cyrus was really easy. All of these Pokemon are pretty frail, so even if they did a decent little bit of damage, they were mostly one-shots. I know that Golbat is going to be a nightmare when he evolves, though. Hey, we usually have a really hard rival fight coming up next. Think it's gonna be a brick wall? Right away, it's Staraptor, so I'm trying to waste time with Confuse Ray, knowing that I'll need all of the speed and attack before I get to fight Heracross and Monferno. We took a few decent hits and lost almost half of our health before we took Staraptor down. Heracross came out as we got rid of Slow Start, so we just one-shot it with Aerial Ace, but then is Infernape, so it's not over yet. Aerial Ace does awesome damage, he takes us to low health with Brick Break before we could take him out next turn. All that's left was Floatzel, who was a one-shot, and Roserade, who was also a one-shot. I'm kind of loving that we're almost never having to grind, but that most major fights are still hard enough to take multiple tries. It's like we're hitting that perfect sweet spot of difficulty. Now, believe it or not, but the Steel Gym after was pretty easy. It was a first try with us mostly just spamming Earthquake. They didn't really hurt us that much. We didn't hit them crazy hard either, but it wasn't too hard to just outlast them and muscle our way through. Hey, it's time to travel all over the world. We have to go to the lakes to fight some commanders and head up north to the Ice Gym. Now, the commanders were all super easy. It's not worth showing those fights to you, but the Ice Gym is often a pretty hard one. I'm not really sure if I'll win when I get there or not. I figure it'll take a few tries to figure out how I even want to handle that fight, but you know what, that's happening with basically every major fight this run. Yeah, Ice Gym, and this took a lot of planning. So of course we want to try and just spam Confuse Ray, even when she's already confused, because we need to make sure that we don't still have Slow Start when Sneasel faints. As soon as Slow Start was over, we took it out, but we lost a good 70 health during the fight. Obama Snow right after was a one-shot, but it'll be hailing for the rest of the fight because of his ability, so we're losing health fast. Frostlast is a nightmare on a lot of attempts, but on this one, its double team didn't let it dodge, so it was a two-shot. Last is Piloswine, but it was just a one-shot. That wasn't that bad. I had to trial and error a little bit, and I needed luck to not lose to double team, but in the end, what was that, 4 tries? It's the Galactic headquarters, and that means we're getting really close to the end of the run. We have to clear this place out, beat Cyrus in an always easy fight, climb a mountain, do a double battle alongside our rival against some commanders, and then do the Distortion world and fight Cyrus. None of this should be hard other than that last Cyrus fight. That one is almost always brutal, and I could see that being the first point that we have to grind in a long time. Wish me luck. Okay, well this is harder than I thought. Check it out. So right away we take a decent chunk of damage off Sneasel and force him to use some healing items, but we lost a quarter of our health right off the bat. Crobat right after got us with Poison Fang to badly poison us, so we were in a massive rush to finish the fight. Another Poison Fang brought us to low health as we finished him off. Last was Honchkrow, and we literally only won because we were faster and landed a one-shot. If it wasn't a one-shot, then the poison damage would have finished us off. I feel way worse about that last Cyrus fight now. Oh, and there's a double battle alongside the rival on top of the mountain. Like usual, it wasn't hard, but I had to be careful to leave some of the bronzers alive for long enough to not have to fight multiple actually dangerous Pokemon at a time, because, you know, our partner is useless. It wasn't hard, I just had to be a little bit careful. Hey, guess who finally remembered to use the fast Distortion World option in the randomizer for the first time? I'm so happy this exists. Okay, so first is Houndoom, and I legit lost over 10 times just to this beast. We lost instantly on most tries due to getting burned or just hit super hard, but this time, Will-O-Wisp missed, he hit himself in confusion, and we finished him with Earthquake. Honchkrow is next, and he can really mess us up because he's faster than us, and Drill Peck takes out about a quarter of our health. He hit himself with confusion early though and wasted some time with full restores, so the extra turns let us shake off Slow Start and finish him off. Water Onix is next, so our attack is cut, but we still hit really hard. I doubt it would have been a one-shot, but we crit to take it out. Next is Weavile, who flinches us with Fake Out, then almost goes down to return, but hits an Ice Punch before we can finish it. Last is the terrifying Crobat, and we're at half health. Air Slash crits us right away to take us to 45 health, as we hit a big return but didn't get the knockout. He could have finished us off with another critical Air Slash, but he used a full restore instead. Return didn't take him out, he hit Cross Poison, we survived with only 17 health but got poisoned, then landed Return to finish him off. I love that half the major fights in this game end with us one hit away from fainting. Right after that is the last gym, the electric gym. Right away, Jolteon took tons of damage per hit, but paralyzed us early, so I was feeling kind of doomed but decided to stick with it. We took him out without taking much damage due to lucking out on Charge Beam missing. Raichu had Focused Blast and actually took us all the way down to half health before we one-shot him. Electivire was third, and Slow Start was finally over. We got dropped to 62 health, but got a one-shot in return with Earthquake. Last was Luxray, and Thunderfang left us with only 31 health, as Earthquake got us the win. Wow, we got paralyzed on the first Pokemon and never lost a single turn the whole try. That was a first try gym fight. That's like, what, the second first try gym fight we've got in the entire run? I think the only other one was the water gym. We're in the home stretch now. All that's left is the rival fight, the Elite Four, and the Pokemon Champion. Gotta be honest though, I think that we're gonna have to grind for the first time in a very long time. Our rival in this game has 4 Pokemon in a row with fighting moves, and 2 of them get the same type attack bonus. This upcoming rival fight has ended Pokemon Platinum challenges before, and has always been a brutal stalling point for normal type runs. Will we be able to beat him? Probably, but I don't think that we'll be able to do it until we level up a little bit more. Okay, so now is the first time in the run where it's very obvious that we're at a brick wall. If we were faster than them, then we'd be fine, but we're normal type, and our rival's first 3 Pokemon all spam Close Combat or Brick Break. This is the same thing that Brick walled us in a few runs, but I don't think there's too much to worry about. We just have to grind up until we're faster than at least one of them, then I think we could win this. 5 levels later, and although I guess we're doing a bit better, we still can't make Heracross faint. Look at how close we got though. That's gotta be like only 1 health left, right? This is returned with a Silk Scarf, by the way. I'm surprised he could hang on at all. I wish so badly that I could just stall for 5 turns, but they all have like Close Combat and Brick Break. I can't afford to keep getting hit like that. And Close Combat is really strong. Okay, 4 tries into level 70, and we get this one where a lucky critical hit one-shots Heracross before he can mess us up, leaving us with way more health for Infernape. He still nearly makes us faint with Focus Blast and lowers our special defense, but on the next turn when he went to finish us off, he missed, so we took him out. Pure luck, but let's roll with it. Floatzel outspeeds us and hits Brick Break to take us to red health as we confuse him, got rid of Slow Start, then outsped and finished him. Next is Snorlax, and I was petrified he'd just finish us off since we are at such low health, but we one-shot him from full health. Last was Roserade, who was of course a one-shot. That's all thanks to a lucky crit on Heracross and Inferno's Focus Blast missing. But we did it. Okay, now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, we have nearly 300 attacks, so that's insane. Even at the start of the fight, we'll have 150 attack and 100 speed. That's still better than my Pokemon tend to have at level 70. Plus all the other stats are good, of course. You know, I was thinking for ages about learning Thunderbolt, but now that I look at it, even with our attack cut in half, it's still more than our special attack, and Confuse Ray has been helping me stall people out a little bit. I really wish I could learn Rest because that would help me stall them way better. But again, it's not a TM in this game. Hey, do you think Substitute would be a good idea? Maybe. I don't like it as much as Return, but it's still an alright move. I don't think I've ever used it in a challenge run before. You know what? I'll go grab it. Maybe it'll help. I think that's going to help us more than Confuse Ray. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Bug Trainer Aaron. There isn't much to say about this fight other than Substitute probably helped us quite a bit in early game against the scarier enemies like Heracross. Overall though, we were hitting so much harder than they were ready for. This is the only easy member of the Elite Four though, so it's about to get harder. Second is Ground Trainer Bertha. Whiscash is first, so I used Substitute right away to help waste time. I'll tell you now, I'm probably opening every fight like this. I used Return and he survived with a sliver to use Sandstorm. Next round it's a full restore, but we've got a one-shot this time. That's good, we wasted a few turns there. Gliscor was able to take out our substitute, but I knew I could take him out in 2 hits, so I just kept using return instead of putting the substitute back up. When he went down, we got buffed by more sand, so our health is getting low as slow start ended and Hippowdon came out. Thankfully, he was a one-shot, but the sand is still going, so we're still getting hurt. Golem came out, but we nailed a one-shot with Earthquake, and last is Rhyperior, who was also a one-shot with Earthquake. Our health got real low, but it wasn't too bad a fight. Third is Fire Trainer Flint. Houndoom is first, and he sets up a Sunny Day while we use Substitute. Obviously, his Flamethrower right after took out our Substitute right away, so I just hit return to take him down. Still worth it, we wasted some turns. Next is Infernape, who hit Flare Blitz before we made a Substitute, so our health is really low. He took it out pretty quickly, but our 2 returns took him out as well. We outsped and one-shot Flareon, and next up was Rapidash. We just shook off Slow Start though, so we easily one-shot it, then moved on to Megmortar, who also goes down in 1 return. Another battle where we lost a ton of health but won in the end. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Lucian. Right away, Mr. Mime is using Light Screen and Reflect to kill time, and he's got no idea that it's exactly what I want. I hit return once to get him to use a full restore, but other than that, I'm using Substitute and Zen Headbutt to kill time. We ended up critting a Zen Headbutt though, so we ended up taking him out a little bit earlier than I wanted and lost our Substitute in the process. As Gallade came out, we shook off Slow Start and outsped him, but left him with a Sliver, so he got to use a Drain Punch. We took him out after, but man, we lost a lot of health to that Drain Punch. Alakazam is next, but was just a one-shot, and second from last is Espeon. Now this thing is normally dangerous, but we have enough attack to get it with a one-shot. Last is Bronzong, who we obviously can't one-shot, but he just used Calm Mind, so we finished him off. Honestly, real easy fight. Finally, Pokemon Champion Cynthia. First is Spiritomb, so naturally I used Substitute and just kill time. I'll tell you now, this battle took many tries because I had to really figure out what I have to do here to win. If I don't shake off Slow Start before taking out Spiritomb, then I will easily lose, so I have to constantly use Substitute and just let her take it out until I finally finish it off at the end of round 5. That means as Lucario comes in, we only have 73 health, but we have a Substitute. Lucario takes out our Substitute, but we got to take him to low health, make him use a full restore, and then take him out the next round. That's only 2 Pokemon down and we're almost out of health. Togekiss is next, but it was a one-shot, so fourth is Garchomp, her pseudo-legendary. We were faster though, and actually got a one-shot. That was amazing. Melodic is fifth, and it was a one-shot with a crit. Not sure if we needed the crit, but I won't complain. And last is Roserade, who of course was a one-shot with return. Wow, I had a lot of trial and error for the Lucario part of the fight, but the rest of the fight was really easy. You know what? That was a really fun run. I thought that it would be way too easy, and sure, I didn't have to grind much, but there were so many battles that were really close. Often when I'd get to a gym, I'd lose the first couple of tries, but I could see how I'd get the win, and after a few tries I was able to. Isn't that basically what the perfect challenge run is? One where it's fast, but with interesting battles? I'm for sure gonna do Regigigas in more games. That was awesome. I really hope you guys liked that run. The next Pokemon challenge should be up next Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Black with only 1 Munchlax. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time! Alright, I don't want to go too long, because it's kind of early in the morning, and I'm trying to get this edit done today and everything. But this editing of this run is the last bit of work that I have to do until I take my week off to spend with my wife before she flies to France, because she's going there for 4.5 months for school. She's going to school for French translation, so naturally some of those courses take place in a university in France. I talk more, or I'm going to be talking more about updates on that in the next challenge run, that Munchlax run. But I've also talked about this a ton on Twitter and everything, so if you really want the deets, you can go to Twitter, I guess. Maybe I'll do like a proper vlog about this at some point, but I don't know right now. I'm just kind of trying to figure out all the plans and trying to get this video done and everything, because I really don't want any of the working on these videos to drag into my last few days hanging out with my wife before she's gonna be, out of the country for almost half a year. So, yeah, really trying to motor on this work. But also trying to keep you guys up to date with all this stuff, because it's obviously going to affect the show and my free time and everything, and I'll probably be way more active. Just because I spend a lot of my free time with my wife, and I'll be spending most of that. I'll probably be spending a lot of that time on like Discord or streaming more often or stuff like that, so you might see more out of me. I don't know. Follow me on Twitter, you'll stay up to date on all of my stuff. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.